even though I don't like the loss, I hate losing too, but we look good. And we do make the playoffs, we can make a run. Whoever we play, gonna have to worry about us too. And that's the difference in what I see with our team and with the Knicks now.
Yeah.
Not like the last few seasons where they didn't have that fight. So now they just have to go with competing on the level that they competing on, which is really, really what what I'm proud of the Knicks for.
Yeah, they definitely competed, man. They definitely competed. But I think at this point, people kind of expect them to win certain games like this one. This one was a gimme, man. They should have won this one. But, you know, it's basketball. Anything can happen in organized
Kyrie
sports.
had 40.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Kyrie had a big 40. You know what I
We
mean?
got to
Elfin
stop
Hayes.
him a little bit and we win the game.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Oh, we
Can't
got
let him do that.
we got a guest on the chime in. Wow. Okay. Hold on.
Already.
What's this? Somebody checking in them from the neighborhood, huh? What's going on? Who's this?
It's Big Drez. I'm checking in for Big O. Give him a minute.
Okay, okay. We got y'all down in Florida. Y'all checking in from down in Florida?
You
You
already?
already know.
Oh
Good,
shit.
King.
Heard up. What's going on, man? What y'all thought
Man.
about the game? Y'all got to watch the game down there, or you was
Yeah,
still in
nah, we caught a little bit of it. We caught a
uh,
little bit of it.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
man.
What's your thoughts on the game? Oh,
I mean, it was a tough loss, I tell you that. But we played good. We played good though, all
yeah,
the way to the end.
yeah,
You know, it was just it came down to the wire or whatever. But we'll get it back though. We're
yeah, man.
still a work in progress.
Yeah, we can't be losing games like that. I just was telling Hard Will,
Like that, right?
yeah, we can't lose those type of games, man. When they playing short-handed, we got to capitalize on those W's, man. Just like that W they were supposed to have in Minnesota. They let that one
Yes,
slip.
sir. Yes,
We
sir.
lose
Oh
these
yeah, that
games.
was
You know what I mean? That was a tough one. That was a tough one. For real. So the Knicks have been busy, as everybody has known. You know, they traded Austin Rivers, opened up a couple of roster spots. So they filled those spots by adding Norvell Pele to a 10-day contract. He used to play for the Nets. And they also added John Henson, who's a 10-year journeyman. You know, he played for the Bucks and a couple of other teams, man. 7 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. I think that he's just an extra body that they need right now. But they need all the bodies that they can get right now because today they got killed on the boards again. Too many easy points in the paint.
Again.
You know what I mean? Too much
Yeah.
careless play from the point guard position. You know what I mean? Like we don't want to beat up our team, but we got to take care of the ball, man. I think we lost that game because of careless turnovers in the third quarter, man, and the momentum shifted and they just can never get it back. You know what I mean? Word.
yeah.
What y'all think about Hubert Davis, man, getting becoming the next men's basketball coach at North Carolina?
Congratulations to Hubert Davis on that. That's big.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that was
Yeah.
huge for Hubert Davis, man. You know what I'm
Big.
saying? I definitely like the fact that that what's his name? Roy Williams ended up passing the ranks down to Hubert Davis. He deserved it, man, because he was a great Nick at one point in time too. You know what I mean?
And with
Yes, sir.
Jawan Howard too, getting a
Yeah.
job, doing good. A lot
Yes.
of the
Shout
team
out to
start to
Juwan
wake
Howard.
up. Shout out to Jawan Howard. Team start
Yes.
to wake up and realize that they got to give those players more opportunities to coach the team. And
Yes,
that
yes,
Frank
indeed.
Michigan did a great job.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
But
But
I wanted to say something about that Minnesota thing before we leave
go
that
ahead.
out.
Let's
That I
go.
heard the young guy Anthony Edwards, the rookie,
Yeah,
say
Anthony
something
Edwards.
about RJ, and it's like that's not really, to me, it's cool to talk it, but
Yeah.
that boy is nice. I really respect his game. You know what I'm saying? But
Who's that? RJ?
that RJ is nice.
Yeah, RJ Barrett is he's a good young piece, man. I love it.
Plain and simple.
Mhm.
And
Uh-huh.
players like that don't talk like that. Don't they show it on the court. You know what I mean? And when I seen
100%.
him did that, and he did that, and he just wanted to talk and say we glad he shot and all that for the media. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's gonna put fire behind him, and he gonna come strong. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, you got to have thick skin, man, especially in
Oh
today's.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
just saying he got to
Can't,
come with it. He got to
yeah,
bring it behind that. You know what I
exactly.
mean? He got to step it up because
Exactly.
dude was going at him in that game. I just wanted to bring that up. I watched the game. I seen what happened. He missed the shot, and
Yeah.
dude said like he wanted him to take the shot. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I play ball. When dudes say stuff about me like that, I'm coming for you. So hopefully he know he hear what Son said. He come for and do what he got to do. But he got the talent. Just give him a little. Let him make his adjustments, man. I
Yeah,
got
he'll
faith
be
in
all
him.
right, man. He'll be all right, man. All of the Knicks young players, man, are gonna be all right, man. Tom Thibodeau isn't an easy coach to play for because he coaches them hard.
Thank,
He's an old school coach. You
thank
know
you.
what I mean? And all of us on this line knows you always play for somebody that'll push you. They push you because they care about you. You know what I mean? If they didn't care about you, they wouldn't push you. So I think that, you know, all of the young players on the team right now, they're gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not worried about that. For real. For real. I'm definitely not worried about that. But let's get to the meat and potatoes of today's episode, man. We want to talk about the mellow years, man. And
Okay.
you know, amongst Knicks fans, it's a lot of controversy when it comes down to Melo. A lot of people felt like the Knicks should have never traded all the players that they did to bring Melo to New York at that point in time.
Whoa.
And I feel that they should have done it. And I still don't regret it. I still love Melo as a former Knick. I think that he was probably the best player that we had since Patrick Ewing, not counting like the Walt Clyde Frazier years, anything like that. And I just think that, a lot of people need to give Melo the respect that he deserves because it's not easy playing here in New York. You know what I mean? But
Mm-mm.
what's your thoughts on that before we get into the meat and potatoes, all Will?
I mean, Melo, he had great years here. I
Yeah.
mean, individually, what he
Uh-huh.
did. I mean, when I look at the stats,
Uh-huh.
as far as playoff runs, and is not that great. So that's why I could see why people debate it. He didn't
And
even
shout
play.
out to the bearded one. He said that those players went on to have great careers, which is false. We'll get to that.
No, I don't really disagree about that too much about the players that we traded for. If Melo would have came that following year and we would have kept that team, that's what was
Uh-huh.
my spin on it. I don't know if I would have gave it up. He played great,
I
but
don't know,
if he
man.
would have came the next year when he would have been a free agent, kept the players, how would that have went?
I don't think that, listen, man. I don't think that team, yes, that team was scrappy. They needed a closer. Amari Stoudemire, he was playing great around that time,
Mm-hmm.
but he wasn't a closer. Look at what happened. When Melo came, it instantly became Melo's team. And as the years went on, Amari started getting jealous behind, the fact that Melo came and just took the shine from him. Because remember, he set it off first. And then Melo came after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And remember the situation in Detroit with Chauncey Billups got hurt. Then that following series in Miami, Amari got so frustrated at the fact that he wasn't that guy no more. He punched the fire extinguisher and cost the Knicks a chance at a good series.
I remember that.
You know what I mean?
I
For
remember that.
real. But let's take it back a step, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about that trade with New York and Denver, right?
Mm-hmm.
We got one of the best pure scorers in that deal. He
Mm-hmm.
immediately became one of the best players on the Knicks, like I said earlier. Chauncey Billups was a good floor general at the time. The only thing that happened that messed everything up with that was that Chauncey got hurt. What did we give up? We gave up Wilson Chandler, who's still a journeyman. I don't even think he's in the NBA anymore. Danilo Gallinari, he played with about 3-4 different teams since then. Raymond Felton, he's been out of the league. Timofey Mozgov, where's he at? And they gave up a future first round pick. What did we really lose in that deal?
We didn't really. I mean, we didn't really go anywhere neither. So I guess that's why it's debatable.
And I'm glad that you said that. So, following that trade, all right, the Knicks went on to finish that season 36-30. They
Got
finished
swept
second
in
place in
the
the
playoffs.
division. Huh?
The first year he got swept in the playoffs.
Nah, they lost 1-4 to the Miami Heat in the playoffs. And that was the big three. That was LeBron, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. So we lost. Yeah, that first year. That first year, the Knicks went 36-30 because that was a shortened season. And they finished second in the division and they finished seventh in the East and they played Miami Heat in the first round. They lost 1-4. Now Denver, they finished 38-28 that season and
What
they
about
was
the
second in the division, huh?
year before that in Boston? You got
Yeah, we
swept.
lost the year before that in Boston. Yeah, we got swept. No,
Yeah,
hold on. No, this was 2011 was Melo's first year.
and yeah, at Boston. One, two,
Yes. That was that year they did get swept by Boston that year.
yeah.
Yes, they did. Denver didn't even make the playoffs. The following year,
Following year
2012.
was the
Yes.
Miami series when they
Nah.
won one game.
Yes.
Yeah, the
And
2012 season.
now the
They won one
2012
game in that playoff season. In that playoff against
uh-huh.
Miami, they won one game,
Uh-huh.
and then the following year they beat Boston. That was
Yes.
2013.
Yes, 2013 season, they went 54 and 28. That was a 54 win year. That's when Mike Woodson was the coach. They finished first in the division. They finished second in the conference in the East. And they lost to the Pacers in the semifinals
Following
2 to
year,
4. That was
yeah.
when Roy Hibbert blocked Melo going to the basket. Oh, you remember all of that?
Yeah, I remember some of it. Yeah, I
You
remember
know?
some of it.
And that's when the team, Melo really had no real help. Stoudemire was in and out of the offense with his back being a problem, his legs. You know what I'm saying? And Melo was taking on a lot of that load. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He caught a raw deal for it. That year, Denver 7-25. He finished second in the West and Northwest. And they lost in the first round of the playoffs to the Warriors 2-4. You know what I mean? But throughout the years, statistically, it looked like Denver may have gotten the better of the trade, but they didn't have as much success as the Knicks had in the East. Would you say to that,
No,
Hallway?
I think it's more about the picks that we gave away. You know
One
why I
pick.
want to say that? All
Uh-huh.
right, that one pick. It was a
Uh-huh.
first round 2014 pick. Am I
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. You know who came out the draft in that situation? We could have had maybe, I'm just saying, maybe you could say hypothetically, but it's true if we gave away our pick. Joel Embiid came out,
Uh-huh.
Bogdan came out, Zach Levine came out.
Uh-huh.
So I'm just giving you an example of we gave away that pick, right?
Yes.
Cool.
All
We
right.
would have
So
kept our pick.
who did Denver draft that year then?
I didn't go on really who Denver drafted.
Yeah.
I went on who came out the first round.
Uh-huh.
Because you
Okay.
can't really go on who Denver draft because we may not have picked the same player.
All right. So now that's what I'm saying. So what I want to know what notable player came out because that pick wouldn't have been a high pick anyway.
Zach Levine,
He was
Bogdan Bogdanovic,
uh-huh.
Joel Embiid.
Uh-huh. Well, we definitely wasn't getting Embiid.
Some
That was
players came out in 14. I'm just giving you a good example. We don't know who. Some players like Bogdan, these players came out
uh-huh.
far in the draft and they wound up having big deals, being
Uh-huh.
good players. You know,
Yeah.
just signed a big deal with the Hawks. I'm just giving
Yeah.
you an example on
Yeah.
we have to, if we're gonna look at it, then we have to say, did we really do good taking Melo and not keeping those players in our pick? Because Gallinari was all right. He got moved around. I'm not saying he better than Melo.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like I always like to talk about when we comparing three players to one player. If
Yeah.
those players actually wind up being decent, like Wilson Chandler, like it's players we had that wasn't bad players. Was Melo better than these players in the head up?
Hell yeah.
Yes. But
Yeah,
when
yes, he was.
these players and we want to have a team orientated, like we didn't have a team when we really gave up all those players because we was growing players and we was going through the draft the way we went, and then we went a complete 360. So I think that's the problem. Like I said in the first episode, we can't build a draft and then go build up players and then go a complete 360 and hope that this star come and do something. If you got to have a better plan than that.
Well, that's what that leads me into the next topic, management. You know what I mean? Because everybody gave Melo the raw deal when Phil Jackson came, and Phil Jackson did a horrible job as president of basketball operations, and he tried to throw Melo under the bus in a media that actually liked Carmelo Anthony. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
He came on board. He said that Melo can be somewhat like Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan in that offense, that triangle offense. Melo was open to trying it. The problem is that Phil Jackson wasn't coaching it. He brought in Derek Fisher, fresh out of retirement, to coach the Knicks. And everything went downhill after that. Everything went downhill after that. After Derek Fisher, he brought in Jeff Hornacek. You know what I mean? He hired
bad moves though.
That was a bunch of bad moves. Yo, Phil Jackson's record as executive of the Knicks was 80 and 166. 80 and 166. He got 5 years, $60 million.
Yeah, it was a money move for him.
It was a money move, and Dolan did it to get the heat off of him at the time. But it was a terrible move, and it set the franchise back. No matter how much,
$40 million. I can remember some of the stuff that used to drive me crazy.
Kid, let's talk about some of the moves he did. Yo, he resigned Melo to a contract extension, gave him a no trade clause. Then he went public with getting on Kristaps Porzingis, talking about he's taking trade offers because he skipped out on the exit meeting. He lost the team right there. In 2015, he signed Shannon Brown. He signed Lamar Odom, who they both ended up getting waived. He signed Jason Smith, Ricky Leto, and Langston Galloway. Like, what was he doing? He traded for Tyson Chandler. He traded for Tyson. Yeah, exactly. He traded Tyson Chandler and Raymond Felton to Dallas for Jose Calderon and Samuel Dallenberg. Along with Wayne Ellington and Shane Larkin, and 2 second-round picks that turned into Cleanthony Early and Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He signed Wayne Ellington and Jeremy Tyler. No, he traded them to Sacramento for Quincy Acey and Travis Outlaw. The dude was terrible, man. He traded Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith to Cleveland for Lance Thomas.
Oh my God.
Yo,
some of his stuff, man, is evident.
This is what I mean, man.
Because people talk bad about the Knicks and certain things, but they don't talk about the reasons why it went that way. And that is one of the main reasons why. He did all this stuff and it really messed up our team.
He drafted Cleanthony Early, who I thought was going to be a better player in the NBA than he was. Because remember, he played for Wichita State, and he was
actually in an incident in New York.
Yes, he got shot. Yeah, he was at the strip club and got shot.
New York wasn't for him, man. He needed to be in a slower city.
Yeah,
the city's too fast for some of these players.
Exactly.
He's a good ball player, but
yeah, not for New York.
That's why I think RJ's good for New York, because he's focused on the game. He's not going to be hanging out and stuff like that.
Nah, he's definitely not hanging out, kid. RJ is focused.
Yeah.
Yeah, RJ is definitely focused. Say it again.
I said that's what we need. Even when you look over there at the other team that we don't really talk too much about.
Like,
look at who they got. They just finding players. They got some kid that just walked in off the street.
That's their scouting
department. He's pretty good though.
That's their scouting department.
But my point is, we got players coming from college that's doing well, like going through the system the right way. And I just think we got to just be more. Just let's have some confidence in our team, and I'm along for the ride. You know what I'm saying? OB, we got OB, Barrett, Randall stepping up.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about this team, and I haven't been in a long time.
And that's a fact. But you got to also realize that the good advantage that they have now and what they haven't had in years is that they actually got some real basketball guys in the front office. Like Worldwide West, everybody know that West is connected to everybody. You know what I mean? There's so much going on right now. I be thinking that some of these reporters and these newspaper journalists, they try to paint Wesley as a guy that's out there tampering. Like, you remember, as soon as they announced that he signed, then they started talking about, oh yeah, well, now Devin Booker may come because it was heard that Wesley was trying to get him to come. And then Bradley Beal, he was forcing Bradley Beal to come here. It's like, the media, they don't want the Knicks to win. To me,
different once Leon Rose came.
Yes.
Because
the agent.
Yes. And it's like, I think that proved to me that we're trying something different. and we needed that much of a change.
Yes.
We needed a drastic move to prove to the players that we are for the players, and the image that they painting us to be like, you don't want to go to the Knicks, the ownership. But when he came in, now that changes the narrative, and it makes
100%.
you revisit to come, because that's not true what they was trying to say about us at
And
all.
yeah, and that's why when you keep saying that they draft players and get rid of them, I don't think that that's going to happen with these guys, because you got some competent people that's actually drafting these players, that seen these players and studied these players and watched them. You know what I mean? Like, Leon Rose was like one of the most uh powerful agents at one time. He had a whole roster. He had Chris Paul, he had Carmelo, he had Chris Bosh, he had a whole bunch of stars under him. So you know that he knows he knows good players, man. And he got a team under him that I think knows good players as well. The whole coaching staff, the guys that they got from Kentucky, like these are
That's
good
a
player
fact.
development guys. You know what I mean? These are guys that work well with a lot of these young players. What's his name? Not Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson used to coach for the Nets. But these guys work well with these young players, man. And I think that, the development is what's going to separate us, next year. And it's going to help improve a lot of these guys on the team, along with good draft picks. You know what I mean? I'm
Mhm.
not worried about it. I mean, I think free agency, we could pick up some big names like that can help us. Well, not big names, but some big pieces that can help us, in some of the areas that we need help. But other than that, man, I love Tibbs. I love the young players that we have. I'm hoping that Mitchell Robinson comes back, healthy next year, and helps us, man, because it looks like we missed him a lot tonight.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? On the defensive end and on the boards as well. But
because Noel is a backup. But
yes,
in
yes,
reference to what you said
yeah,
about what we're doing, if you
hmm
pay attention, all these pieces are good
yeah,
and they are improving.
yes,
So if you're watching the players closely, like I do, most of the players on our team is improving. And like they was talking about Noel during the game, he's
yeah,
a big defender inside.
yeah,
He would have been Mitchell's backup.
100%.
It's a lot of pressure on them because he's hurt. They didn't expect him to be hurt, then to go back out again. So all this stuff we got to take into consideration and just realize that we're growing as a good team.
That's a fact. But
And like you said, it's not easy to play for Tibbs. They got to understand what he's doing. Lucky they got D Rose there to explain to them
Mhm.
what a method to his madness. You know what
yes,
I mean, Wiz?
yep, yep. So back to Phil Jackson, because I'm glad you mentioned Tibbs again, because if you remember, Tom Thibodeau was available when Phil Jackson was looking to fill the Knicks coaching vacancy,
Yeah.
and Phil turned him away because he wasn't a triangle guy, and that's when Tibbs went to Minnesota and he got the GM job and the head coaching job. He was running the whole organization from a player standpoint and a coaching standpoint, and then he lost the job because of the GM side of things. It wasn't necessarily the coaching. He coached guys hard. Jimmy Butler rolled with him, but a lot of guys couldn't really deal with it. Huh?
Maybe that was too much for him to handle.
Yeah, yeah. But meanwhile,
He looked good.
yeah, that's a fact. But meanwhile, Phil Jackson was out here. You remember we had signed Derek Williams? He signed Derek Williams to a 2-year, $10 million contract. He signed Aaron Aflalo to a 2-year, $16 million contract. He signed Robin Lopez to a 4-year, $54 million contract. He signed Kevin Seraphin, Tony Wooten, who never played, and he signed Jimmy Fredette to a 10-day contract. Like, where were the pieces that you put around Carmelo Anthony? Where were the pieces at? So it's easy for us to say we gave away this player, that player, but Phil had plenty of opportunities to bring the proper pieces around Carmelo, and he wasn't listening to Melo either, because Melo was trying to give him advice on certain players to go get that wanted to come here and play with him.
True.
You know what I mean? He
The
traded
problem,
him up, huh?
the problem was he didn't coach.
Yeah, he
You
didn't
said
coach.
you came there and you just wanted to pick a coach
Yeah,
That's not. That's hard to do. And then you want to pick a coach who hasn't never coached before.
Never.
That's when he was giving him his first coaching job.
Yes.
That wasn't a good look.
At all. At all.
Because rebuilding, you can't do that.
At all.
Even Nash, I don't agree with just expecting the coach to win their first year and then it don't work like that.
See, but that's the cheat code. Anybody can coach 4 All-Stars, 3 All-Stars. You know what I mean? Anybody can coach 3 All-Stars.
They don't need a coach. So that's how it goes when you have much talent on your team, I think. It takes away from a good coach, a good team, a good unit. That's what I love about the Knicks. That's what we bring.
Yeah. Now, Phil also traded Tim Hardaway Jr. to Atlanta for the number 19th pick overall, which turned into him picking up Jerry Grant. You know? Wow. Yeah. He also traded the 2020 and 2021 second round picks to Philadelphia for Willie Hernan Gomez.
Oh, man.
He swapped the rights to the 2019 second round pick to Orlando for Kyle O'Quinn. He drafted Kristaps Porzingis, number 4 overall. And then after he drafted Porzingis, he said that his downfall may be the fact that he's too tall and his lower extremities may be subject to injury. And look what happened to KP. He ended up tearing his knee up.
True.
So he knew all of this and still did it.
And he drafted him.
And he still drafted him. But then he tried to shift the blame on Melo the other day.
Yeah, this guy is blatant, man.
He sabotaged us, man. He sabotaged us, man. The Knicks finished 32-50, 13th in the NBA in the Eastern Conference that year. Derek Fisher was the coach, and then Kurt Rambis came after Derek Fisher got fired.
We made drastic changes. That's what I mean. See what I was saying a little while ago about how I'm happy with my team, and look what we had to go through.
Yeah.
Come on, man. We got way more better players, and so you could tell that it was blatant what he did. It made no sense. Some of those moves made no sense whatsoever.
At all. At all.
Did way better job than him.
This is what I'm saying. We playing 2K when we could have did a better job. But he drafted, in 2016, he signed Joakim Noah to a 4-year, $72 million deal. I think they still paying Noah, who just recently retired. And no disrespect to Joakim Noah. He was all right at one point in time.
Not then. Not when he got that money. Not when he got that bag. He was laughing all the way to the bank. I know him.
Oh, word?
Yeah, he was laughing.
Wow. $72 million.
He's laughing.
They paid Courtney Lee $48 million. They paid Lance Thomas $27 million.
Oh my God.
They signed
Lance Thomas.
This is what I'm saying. Lance Thomas was in Brooklyn last time I checked, but they got rid of him.
It's like we dragging him through the mud.
Come on, man.
It's Brandon what he did.
Yeah. Come on, man.
We should never bring up Phil Jackson again.
Nah, well, listen. This is what we have.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Brandon Jennings, 1 year for $5 million. Sasha Vujacic, Mendigas Kuzminskis, Marshall Plumlee.
You know what those sound like? A bunch of favors he owed people.
This is what I'm saying, man. This is what I mean. This is what I'm saying. But everybody wanted to shift the blame to Melo. Look at the personnel that he was putting around him. You wasted this man's prime.
You got a good point.
Yo, they wasted his prime. They wasted his prime. For real.
That's what it sound like, though.
They wasted his prime, bro. They wasted his prime. They turned around, traded. They finally got somebody to take Jose Calderon. They traded Jerry Grant, another young draft pick that you said we never held on to, and Robin Lopez. They traded them all to Chicago for Derrick Rose and Justin Holiday. This was Derrick Rose's first time around. And then that's when Rose went AWOL. They finished 31-51. Jeff Hornacek was the coach at that time. Yo, they had opportunities, Harvard. That's why I say when people say that trade they should have never made it. Yo, they had mad opportunities to make up for what they lost.
You know what the problem could be too?
What's that?
What LeBron was doing.
Well,
Like LeBron was winning with the same type of pieces they was trying to put around Melo. Even though he did get better help as time went on, but when he first, you gotta think about it. Like Melo was looked at kind of on the level of LeBron for a long time,
100%.
and maybe they never felt like they had it. He needed that much more help, which he really did. I think he really did.
Mhm.
Shumpert was a good. He had good defense, and it was
That was
certain pieces. It was certain pieces that was like enough. Melo demanded the ball a lot, and you got to remember, a lot of players didn't want to come play with him.
Yeah.
Maybe
I don't.
nobody wanted to come. I
Yo,
mean,
Chris
you talk
Paul
about
wanted to
that.
come play with him. Chris
You
Paul
talk
wanted to play with him. And look at what Chris Paul doing right now.
that would have been great.
That would have been excellent. But Phil, of course, didn't listen. They traded for Tyson Chandler when they didn't need him. He
Mm.
traded for Tyson Chandler.
Yeah, that was. I mean, look, if you make one bad move,
Mm-hmm.
you just went over 15 bad moves.
This is what I'm saying.
That hurt our team for years and years and years.
Oh, it gets worse. It gets worse.
More?
It gets worse. In 2017, 2018, he drafted Frank Ntilikina, number 8 overall. He drafted Damian Dotson.
Draft with him.
Huh?
Frank ain't did nothing in a very long time.
He has never done anything.
Yeah, and who came in that draft with him? Because I'm sure we could have took somebody else instead of him.
At the time, with Dennis Smith Jr. when he first came out. Remember, who else they passed on? They passed on a lot of people, man. They passed on a lot of different people. Man. For real.
Well, when you get stuck spending money wrong, it's hard to retrieve the money that you spent. It's like buying a lemon. You know what I'm saying? He was purchasing bad players.
Yeah.
he was buying bad players. So once you buy bad players, how you gonna get rid of them?
Beats the hell out of me, man.
That's what messed up our team. We dissecting it right now. We pulling back the layers of what really happened.
Yeah.
So that's what happened. Once you buy stuff that's not worth anything, or they stock just go down once they come on your team, nobody's gonna take that off your hands. So you wind up with money.
That's a fact.
To us.
That's a fact. And
hindsight,
shout out to Ron Fletcher. He said Melo didn't demand the ball. The players around him weren't confident. Melo was a double guy. That's a fact all day. Shout out to my bro, Big Ron Fletcher. We see you out there, champ. For real. And I agree. Like Phil tried to say that players and coaches were scared to coach Melo. They was intimidated by him. But listen to everybody that I just reeled off, all of those names.
Why would they be?
They
wasn't. They just had to play their role. They was role players.
Yeah, they were good role players though.
Now they wasn't good role players, but like I said, when other teams win like that, and you gotta understand that's how they throw players around thinking that they could do the same. But it's not the case. But then the league changed again, and teams had 2 and 3 stars.
Yes.
So you got to take all that into consideration.
2 and 3 stars. Yes. Well, LeBron spoiled the league for everybody because now he gave birth to what's going on in Brooklyn right now, what's going on in LA right now.
Birth to that?
Huh?
I heard he wasn't the first one to really start doing that.
Let's go. We could go back. People say that Boston started it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I say that was a trade. Yes, it was a trade between two friends, right? But what LeBron did was that was what they call egregious. Like, come on, man, you conspired with these guys. Remember, Melo was supposed to be there too. They wanted to make it a big four.
Yeah,
not even a big four. No, it was supposed to be Melo, Dwayne Wade, and LeBron. But Melo, of course,
work.
Huh? It wouldn't have. You don't think so?
I mean, I don't want to just say no, but I think Bosh was better because you got to have a balance.
That's
Like
true too.
James Harden had to give a balance with those guys.
Yeah,
He stopped shooting as much. It proved
yeah,
up to that point.
yeah.
Can't have three 30-point scorers.
100%.
That would be crazy.
100%. Nah, you can't. You absolutely can't. But they're doing it. They're doing it across town. You know what I mean? They're doing it across town.
What you think they're gonna? You said something about earlier about them winning. You think they're gonna win?
I mean, I'm not afraid to say that. Yeah, by the way that the way things look, man, I don't see anybody beating them anytime soon
Yeah,
because
but it took a team to win, and then you still got to roll the ball out there.
yes, that is true. You do have to still roll the ball out there, but
Mhm.
the way that it looks, it doesn't look like it's gonna really make a big difference whether or not.
I don't
And
think so.
you don't think so?
No, because when the playoffs start,
Uh-huh.
to me, when I watch basketball,
Uh-huh.
it's always somebody that you don't expect that's gonna be coming with it, and it showed even in the bubble how some dudes, how the Clippers lost. You know what I'm saying? Look how many stars they had. Let's keep it real. And we always could touch NBA information if we talking about our Knicks and how it's going.
Uh-huh.
And that's so true. Clippers lost to Denver like that. And nobody expected it because you got to roll the ball out there. And then you got some guys who games is going up
Yeah.
and they're going to show it in the playoffs. Basketball in the playoffs magnitudes, it goes up. You can see the difference in watching the game tonight and then next when the playoffs start, you ain't walking out, you staying watching that game. Like so
Yeah.
that's what I love about playoff basketball. You never know what's gonna happen. And I think that with Brooklyn doing that, teams is coming to play. And granted, they could go far, but you gotta win. You gotta win. And if
Yeah.
you do all that and you don't win, that makes it worse for you. So
Yeah. But the one thing I'm concerned about though is I didn't really get to catch a lot of what was going on in college,
mhm.
but I don't see anybody that's a game changer coming out right now. I don't know if you may see that differently than I do, but I don't see it. Um oh yeah, okay. Shout out to Ron. He said, don't forget that the mailman went out there and got that LA went out and got the mailman and Gary Payton and they lost, which is true. That is true. But
Exactly. That's a good point. When you
that
stop
was a
both
totally
stop,
different team though.
yeah,
That was
true.
like they was old. Like mailman
Oh,
was like
yeah, no, I was gonna say they were
old.
yeah.
Gary Payton was old. It wasn't like they was in their prime like a lot of these guys. Now they running to go play with each other in their prime, like you spoiling the game.
But if you
Uh-huh.
see what's going on,
Uh-huh.
even Jay Williams said it. He was saying like Aldridge, he's not the Aldridge that you remember that used to turn in Portland and
Nah, he's washed. He's washed.
yeah. So you gotta remember you got dudes on the Lakers like Montrezl Harrell, Anthony Davis, LeBron. If these guys come back, it's gonna be a good game if that's gonna be the finals.
Nah.
I'm just saying, if that happens to be, I don't see it being lopsided when you looking at the whole team of things.
Yeah.
When you just throw a team together that fast like they did,
Yeah.
it's a lot of holes in they playing with that. That's just my
So let's just bring it back then, because that reminds me of the 54 win Knicks team. That team, we had an old Jason Kidd. He was in his 40s. We had Raymond Felton. We had Rasheed Wallace. We had Kurt Thomas. You know
oh,
what I'm saying? We had we had some guys that was a little bit up there in age, but they was great pieces that fit around what we had with Melo. You know what I mean? Let's take it back to even when the Knicks had young studs, but they just had the wrong coach. They had Stephon Marbury, they had Jamal Crawford, they had Eddie Curry when he was playing good, and they had Zach Randolph, but they had the wrong coach coaching them. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. A lot of it comes down to coaching. A lot of it comes down to chemistry of players. But to Ron's point, yes, the Lakers did go out and do that, but those guys was way over the hump back then, and that's why
yeah.
they lost. They lost to the Pistons that year.
You got to say who the coach was though. That bad coach of the Knicks who coached that good
Oh,
team.
Kurt Rambis.
That's
Was
wild.
it Kurt Rambis?
I don't
Or
think
was it no, no,
Kurt
no? It
Rambis
was
got
Paul
put on
Westphal.
after they let
It
Fisher
was
go.
Paul, yeah, I think it was Paul Westphal. Oh, you talking about which one you talking about with the Lakers or the Knicks?
No, with the Knicks when you said they had
Oh, that
Crawford,
was Larry Brown.
that was
That
exactly
was
that was
Larry Brown. That was Larry Brown. He wanted to play a certain style. You got a guy like Marbury. You got a guy like Crawford. Those are guys that can create for themselves. You want them to play some type of Princeton style offense. Like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work, bro.
coach is important because he got to believe in his talent,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why when you see some coaches being part of the draft or
Mm-hmm.
management side,
Mm-hmm.
because they want to have their hands on the talent so they can know how they want to coach.
That's a fact. So
Thibodeau kind of doing that in a way.
Thibodeau's doing what?
His style is gritty. I could see the defense picked up with the Knicks. They real alert on defense. They moving. That's his style.
Yeah. Tonight they definitely they lost a step a little bit on defense because they got killed on a lot of second chance opportunities. Like they were
But
letting
Mitch,
guards get in, huh?
like you said, Mitch not here.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
it's for them. We just going on real facts that we
yeah.
lost the milestone. We lost
To a better team.
the hand. Not even talking about the game today. I'm talking
Uh,
about like Mitch. Like we talked about. If we got
yeah,
Noel, he's the backup. But
yeah.
you watch the game and you see they talking about how he's blocking shots and a couple years ago nobody even respected him. So
Who?
shout out to
Nerlens
Noel.
Noel?
Yes, he wasn't getting always getting respect. I knew about him since high school, and he
Yeah,
finally coming along. But the
when he was
point
in
I'm making,
Kentucky.
he's a
Uh,
backup,
yeah,
and that's why we not getting, like you said, they killing us on the boards or things
yeah.
like that because we missing Mitch.
And Taj Gibson is doing a good job as well. Yeah, but
Great
yeah,
job. Shout out
we
Taj.
really miss Swiss. Yeah,
Yes,
shout out to
you have
Taj
to say
Gibson.
that.
Shout out to the whole foundation.
You
You
have
know
to
what I
say
mean?
that Taj is playing great. Shout out Brooklyn. Taj is doing a good job in Brooklyn with his organization
100%.
about it, his tournament, his basketball tournament and stuff like that.
100%. 100%. For real. What else, man? Well, the burning question before we get out of here, man,
Mhm.
is do you believe that Carmelo Anthony should have his jersey retired in New York?
Yes, I do. I do. Even though I do feel like we talked about earlier in reference to it's debatable with the draft and the players. I love
Uh-huh.
Melo. He's one of the best to me. He did a very good job as a Knick. When you
Yeah,
look at the playoff run, it's not a lot of numbers there. It's up and down. It's not consistent. So I understand why people debate Melo not being, you know, to me he is and his number should be retired because my reason is because he has a lot of memorable moments
yes. 60
and
points.
60 points and records and when you watch that guy play it's very exciting. He hit shots to win games and if you ever been to a Melo game in the Garden it's crazy. It's crazy. I've been there before. It's real. It's a real nice atmosphere, and everybody is, you know what I mean,
Yep.
bouncing on their head, doing their head now, when they hit the three, and so I do think his jersey should be retired, even
Um,
though it's
uh-huh.
debatable for some people. I agree too.
I'm gonna say this though. If he had played his whole career in New York, he would be the Knicks leading scorer of all times. Right now, he only played seven seasons in New York, and it was really 6.5 seasons because he
Mhm.
came in. Oh, we got a caller.
Let them
Somebody
on. We got time. We could go past a little past 11 if you
got a
want.
caller. Bars and Who's Radio. Who's this?
Caller, how you doing? Speak up,
Oh,
caller.
I can't hear you.
He's
Oh,
trying to speak.
yeah, nah, we can't hear him. Can't hear the.
Call back and we let you on.
That's a fact. Hold on. I think I know what it is. Um, yeah, call back if you can, for real. So here's the thing: Mello would be number one if he was here. He only played 7 seasons.
I agree. I
He's
agree with that.
he's seventh on the list all time with 10,186 points in 6.5 seasons. You know what I mean? Ewing, he played 15 seasons in New York. and he scored 23,000 points. The next closest to him is Walt Clyde Frazier at 14,000. He only played 10 seasons. Willis Reed, 12,000. He only played 10 seasons. Allen Houston, 11,000. He only played 9 seasons. So if Melo would have played at least 15 seasons, he probably would have been number one.
Yeah,
Overall.
because he played on the West,
Yeah.
which was more competitive,
Yes.
right? And he made it to the playoffs for his first 6 years on Denver,
Yes.
which is not
Yeah.
easy to do.
No, first 8 years in Denver.
First
And
8.
shout out to Warren English. I see you, brother. If that was you calling, you call back, man. We got some time.
For real,
Yeah,
because
he was.
you got to take that into consideration. If you, it's harder in the West at
Yeah.
that time. Let's be clear, right?
Uh-huh.
And for him to do that, man, and the only person that was in his way through some of that journey was Kobe.
He
And
lost
yeah,
to the Spurs dynasty and he lost to the Lakers dynasty. The whole time he was out there. The only bad playoff loss that they did have was to the LA Clippers. And that was when they had like Elton Brand and those guys,
a
Lamar.
team,
Yes.
a team. It's like
Yeah.
I keep saying about now how I want a team.
Yeah.
That's what's the whole we keep talking about. Like,
Yeah.
what's the problem? And like, we need a team, and that's what I think we going for. People don't have a team. Certain teams in the NBA do have a team because they have a system. They move the ball and they play ball. They don't just hold the ball.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. Yeah, but I do feel like he does need his jersey retired. I feel like, he got a bad break because of the narrative of him of being a ball hog and a selfish guy his whole career. He came here, he tried to make it work, man. He followed Phil's blueprint at first when it wasn't working, and when Phil basically tried to show that he wanted it to be the triangle or no way, that's when he lost me, man. And he just failed to change with the game. And Melo caught a lot of slack for that. And that's what turned KP off. That's what made KP want to leave because he saw the way that the organization treated Melo.
Treated Melo because at first Melo with KP gravitated to Melo, and
Yeah.
if you watch some of KP moves as he got better as time
Mm-hmm.
went on, he
Mm-hmm.
he had to be working with Melo, putting the ball on the floor like that because he had that same Hezo move that Melo would do. And you gotta understand, Melo brings something to a team that a lot of teams didn't have.
Yeah.
So
And I wasn't a KP fan either. I wasn't.
I mean, you got to remember when him and Melo played together, it looked good at first. It just
I
like you said, when he seen how they treated Melo,
yeah.
that made him change his perspective.
Yeah.
So it
I
all
just
came from them.
that's a fact. I just never respected 7'2" jump shooters. Like his whole game was based on the 3-point line and the perimeter. It's like, yo, you're not KD. Like, nah. Like
But
I
you
just
wasn't
didn't
your
respect
favorite
it.
player, so you
You
kind of
was my favorite player.
yeah, that's what I mean. So that's like he put his back to the basket and he turned and shoot fadeaways and jumpers, but he mainly a post up player, right? Who
Yeah, he was. He
now
was. Uh-huh.
no, I understand. That's what I'm about to tell you. Look, now the game is more of a Euro big game. Yeah, I'm telling you. Why you think KP got so much money and he came in the league the way he came in, and then Dallas wanted him, even though he's still in between, but
Yeah.
they want you to put the ball on the floor and hit the three because now they don't know how to stop them. I'm just telling you what the teams look at as far as where the game is now. It transcended from like you don't see them drafting players for being a post up no more. Who
Yeah.
who who did the NBA draft as far as a post up player? You haven't seen that in a long time. So KP was basically practicing what he had to practice because that's where the game is headed now. Every team wanted Kevin Durant now.
Yeah, man.
It's
Dallas is ready to get rid of KP.
true because
Yeah,
KP ain't living up to the hype.
this is what I'm saying. Like I
He
saw
ain't
that.
living up to the hype.
Yo, he's 7'2". He think he's a shooting guard. Like, yo, we was 6'3" and 6'4", and dudes hated the fact that, yo, what you doing outside? Go down low. Like, can you imagine now?
But the
Come
game
on.
changed.
Oh my God.
The NBA is cool with that. The NBA is cool with 7 footers shooting threes. Look, I'll give you a
And
good example.
uh-huh.
Son from Milwaukee, Lopez.
Yes.
I can name so many centers that shoot threes now,
Yeah.
and they making them.
Yeah.
So you know what that means? You
What?
can't just be a post up player no more. You got to be able to hit that three too. To
100%.
me, that's good for a big.
Yeah.
Now you still should be going in there if you have a mismatch and get an easy point. See,
Yeah.
that's what KP don't have, Stills. He don't have that heart to make him put his back on somebody and just debo himself and dunk on them, or
Nah,
you
it's
know,
not.
he want to alley oop.
Yeah, that's not in his DNA, man. That's not in
Yeah,
his
it's not in his
DNA,
DNA.
man. Word the mother,
So
man.
let him go. I'm happy he's not. All right. You remember how I kept saying that
Mhm.
Mitchell Robinson is what I think is a great Nick because of
Uh,
how hard he play, he gritty.
yeah,
I'd rather him over KP any day.
yeah, man. Listen, well, I feel the same way too, because
Yeah.
he plays defense and he grabs
Yeah.
things and he's an intimidator, man. But we
Yes.
come to the end, man. We come to the end of this show, man. We got a minute and 13 seconds left, man. I want to thank everybody that did checking on Facebook, man. People that did checking on the web on the station itself. You know what I mean? Every Monday, 10 to 11, myself and Hard Will come here, try to bring you the latest in NBA news on the Knicks. And yeah, man. Hopefully y'all rock with us, man. Hard Will, what you gotta say before we get out of here?
It was a great episode, and hopefully more people gonna start tuning in so we gonna have dope content for y'all. Seem like they go and watch our show after we live. So we
Yeah,
got to try to let them know they could come in and call in and interact. So I'll
yeah.
be posting some more to show them
Mhm.
how to share the numbers and the information they're gonna need to call in so they
Yeah,
can make the show more entertaining and
yeah,
interact with us so we can answer y'all questions or whatever y'all may want us to discuss for a little while.
yeah. Well,
That's about it.
that's
Thanks
about
for
it.
whoever did check in.
Yeah.
Still, it was good talking with you. Great episode.
Yes, indeed, man. So on that note, Stills the Great, Hard Will, Knicks Talk Nation Radio, signing off until next week. Peace. Why the fuck wasn't this shit working?